Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Now's the best time to lock in early order savings on a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plan for success with the latest technology, including Exact Emerge high-speed planters that help you cover more acres with greater precision and productivity. Order your planter for next year now to unlock the biggest savings of the season. Contact your local Landmark location today and experience the Landmark difference.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
All right, welcome in to Ticket Sundays. Harrison Arns only 1s and 2s. As always, this is The Breeze. We got Noah Haas Tabrizi as he is out there coaching, hopefully trying to, I don't know if he's playing for a championship today or just some tournament games, but he will be coaching. So just me and DP. If you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. That is the Sergeant Heyman text line. Facebook, YouTube, X, Al Channel 961. We will have the Royals taking over the FM airwaves at 12:30. So again, you can use the Ticket app or any of the streams if you want to continue listening. DP, how's it going on this Sunday?
It is a first of all, it's crisp out there. Should be the warmest day of the year so far, or pretty close to.
It feels like, I mean, what it's been the past few weeks.
Yeah, like that seems to be happening, but a lot of things in the air. Of course, first pitch in Chapel Hill was at 11:04, and it has not gone well.
No, I just saw, give me the update. I just saw 3-0 was the last update I saw. Obviously, Oklahoma leading.
You saw the first inning, which was 3 errors and 3 runs. Since then, it is now the top of the third, and it is now 9-0 Oklahoma. Timmerman has come on. It so to break down how this thing started kind of sets the day. In your elimination game, This is elimination day. You're fighting for your season's life.
Yeah, you got to win 3 straight if you want to stay alive.
For seniors, you know the deal that leave it all there. But I've talked about on air this week that in these situations, in these conditions, the same can be said for game 7s in basketball or any team that's in an elimination situation in pro sports or college sports. Do less better. Do less better. And yeah, you can I love how the Nebraska wrestlers always say, don't make a thing bigger than it is. Don't make anything bigger than it is. Because what happens then, the plays that you should make, you don't make.
Mm-hmm.
There were 3 balls hit in the first inning against Nebraska that all should have resulted in out. It should have been 3 up, 3 down. That was the first inning. Ball hit back to the pitcher that was bobbled, kicked, turned into a runner. Ground ball to third base that should have led to a force. That high throw at second base, you get nothing. Another ground ball that was kicked. 3 errors in the first inning. They've since made a 4th error in this game. And listen, Oklahoma, we saw them Friday, so we know that's a talented team.
Yeah, they don't need a whole lot of errors to win.
Yeah, they listen. They made Oklahoma had a tough day yesterday against North Carolina, and that was a big part of what the walk-in was. But when your box score says 0-0-4, 0-0-4, you've made 4 errors in the first 3 innings. 9-0 Oklahoma, and again, game's finished. There's 27 outs. As the Huskers showed Friday that they will continue to fight, and they were down Friday night and then put up 4 runs to make it competitive and to have a shot. They fought all season long. Mm-hmm. Their ability to do so is part of what intrigues and frustrates the fan base. Is that, and I'll ask the fan base. You guys are out here. It's pretty interesting to try to figure out what game encapsulates the best vision of this year's team. Like, what game captures it? Is it a game that
I'll tell you the most accurate one is Michigan State.
Right? That you got to break. Like, you battled.
You didn't play great, but you never gave up, and you gave yourself an opportunity.
Right.
That's kind of been the story of this team.
Yep. And I think that's the story today. You're facing their number 3 pitcher. Timmerman is now on. Walsh deserved a better fate than received. Mm-hmm. Because he battled. He made great pitches to get out of one. He should have never been in trouble. He should have never been in trouble. And that's a real thing, that when you say, gee whiz, the guy deserve better, but you have the people behind you have to make plays for you. Mm-hmm. They have to make plays for you. And so it'll be a thing for Husker fans to take the gut punch. That is that 4 errors is not how you want to go into a critical mass game. But it's that kind of weekend. It's regional finals weekend, and elimination day is a tough day. It is just a day filled with games, and
I wish they'd space them a little bit. That's my only beef with the whole thing.
Yeah, I got frustrated last night because
you got to chase them around too on the channels. Like, they're tough streams to find sometimes. So
well, it was really weird because, again, there were several points yesterday where and Jackson and I were talking about it yesterday, that multi-streaming is now part of the norm, mm-hmm. right? That very few people watch a thing. Like, it's the thing. And I imagine the Husker fans are watching Husker baseball. There's nothing else of importance. Husker softball isn't playing, so quite frankly, we're going to watch the Huskers and let it ride. But after the Huskers play, then how do you consume this tournament? And on the weekend of the regional tournament, there was a moment when all 16 regions were playing at the same time. All 16 games. I just went, this is your apex. Can you imagine March Madness and just saying we're only going to have 4 blocks of games, and in all 4, 8 games are going to go on, or 4 games are going to go on at the same time. We've gotten used to 4 games going on at the same time.
All just perfectly spaced away
Right.
too, so we can still catch the end of all of them.
Right. The time slots are a little off, but okay, fine. But 16 regional tournament games going on at the same time is just it's just hard to consume. So, and as you move further along into this thing, it starts to weed out because teams get eliminated along the way. And as teams have been eliminated so far, but currently we'll go around the regional tournaments. Of course, as I said, Oklahoma leads Nebraska 9-0. Georgia, who got knocked into the elimination bracket by Duke. The number 7 dogs they're battling today. Again, you have to go back after a late game loss, come back early Sunday morning and figure it out. Well, they're playing a really good Oklahoma State team. They currently lead 5-3 in the third. If you want to go down to this one's pretty amazing, that Clemson and Kentucky. And again, it's really weird to me. Clemson had 3 errors in the first 3 innings. It's just really tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough way. Like the games, we know that humanity makes the game mean more. But catching fly balls and throwing baseballs and fielding grounders, it should become simpler in those moments, and it just doesn't. Mississippi State, who, again, interesting finding themselves where they are, they're leading Northeastern 2-0 in the 4th inning. Wake Forest leads Cincinnati in the 4th inning. They lead 4-0. And in Florida and East Carolina, again, both kind of battling and a little bit surprised about how that thing's gone. They just started their elimination game.
I haven't asked you about Eugene yet.
Well,
the Ducks.
Well,
pretty surprised though.
Well, this is what happens though. Here's what happens in tournaments, and it's tournament play, and it's a different kind of tournament play, right? Because everybody who's playing in the regionals played travel ball, played in tournaments all the time where it was double or single elimination. You get used to to make plays, but you're playing it against better competition. And the higher up you go, the more conveniently how comfortable you get playing in those games and those meaningful moments.
I guess maybe that was what it was. Is they were uncomfortable. I just thought, after the way they came out of the Big Ten tournament, felt like Nebraska got them. It's like I thought I was expecting a pissed off Ducks team, and you give credit to the team, but just 0-2. See you later. That's the end of the season.
Well, I mean, but baseball is that way. It's built that way. That, quite frankly, you get a pitcher who gets the ball in their hand. I mean, ask Nebraska softball. If you get Pickens on game 1 versus Pickens on game 3, you don't necessarily control the outcome. You do what you can do, but in this particular, you got a Witherspoon who was on his game on Friday. Tough deal. Tough deal. It just happens. Oregon and Oregon State, Vanderbilt, Texas. You ran into a hot team. You ran into a team that was just, quite frankly, not afraid of you and made plays. And my college coach used to talk about it all the time. You're playing the baseball, not the jersey.
Honestly, because it's the very beginning. It's going to come down to the errors.
Yeah, you can get caught up in, oh my goodness, we're playing Vanderbilt. Or you can say, oh, hit the ball, throw the ball, catch the ball.
Yeah, you've made those plays before.
Right,
regardless of the jersey you hit the bat. Like
right.
you caught that same pop fly, pop up 100 times. Also, they get the rematch at 2 p.m. Vandy. And if Vandy loses and Alabama, the Greg Sankey might want to rewrite the college baseball tournament. Well,
I mean, Texas is in the same boat at home, having to beat a Kansas State team that doesn't fear them. Wright State is just thrilled to be there.
Yeah, they're playing great. I mean, they pushed Louisville too. It wasn't like Louisville walked them over.
To be there, right?
Yeah.
And Louisville had no giant fear. They had no very cool uniforms, by the way.
Yeah, the Louisville.
Very, very cool uniforms Louisville won yesterday. I hope they wear something similar today. But that's what this whole thing is. Georgia Tech faces Ole Miss in an elimination game, Southern Mississippi. They will take on a Columbia team that, again, just has no fear. They're rock solid defensively. They don't make mistakes. Dallas Baptist and Little Rock, that's going to be a softball game. I wouldn't be surprised if 30 runs are scored in that game. Like they're just going to play old-fashioned hardball. Well, there it is in the regional elimination game. Dallas Baptist and Little Rock, they're both going to put back the ball. NC State and Stetson will go at 2:00. Also at 2:00, North Carolina State versus Creighton. Hey, Creighton, how's that trip to Little Rock, Arkansas going? Fayetteville. How's that trip to Fayetteville going? Listen,
not great, DP.
Nebraska fans were trying to tell you, hey, man, go on down there to Arkansas if you want to. It's a little bit different. And it wasn't pretty and it wasn't fun, but they got a chance to get themselves to the regional final with a win over North Dakota State. North Carolina awaits. Florida State awaits. Oregon State and St. Mary's will have at it. Tennessee is waiting in a bracket. Coastal Carolina is waiting in the bracket. And the Chanticleers, every year, we forget that you don't have to be a brand name to go through. You know what? Come on down here. Come on down to Coastal Carolina, take these L's because that's what we're serving. That's what we're serving. And but it also reminds you that there's a way to success. I guarantee you, Coastal Carolina isn't spending the most money in college baseball, right? They're figuring it out. They figured out what kind of player works for them. They kind of figured out where to get those players from.
They're in the bottom tier of spending when it comes to the teams left. They're probably bottom quarter tier, I'd say.
Oh, well, I mean, but and
you're going to have some real small schools that beat them out.
But that could change, right? That could change because if Utah Valley figures it out today, they're staring people in the face. So you don't really Cal Irvine, surprisingly, I mean, this has been a constant baseball contender for a long time, for almost 40 years. Mm-hmm. So it's there. Murray State, how are you still in it? Right? They're not spending a ton of money. UCLA, who we, from up close and personal, we sit back and try to figure out what their budget is and where they belong in this whole thing. But guess what? In baseball and softball, they've figured it out. They've figured it out. Arizona figured it out. Run your athletic department at that nonprofit at a huge deficit, but figure it out because Arizona baseball and Arizona softball always around when it comes to regional, super regional time. And that's just how it plays. And you figure out how you're going to get through it. Now, we mentioned softball for a very particular reason. The four teams that will play today, so UCLA and Tennessee, an elimination game, that's a really good softball matchup. That is, you're talking about 6 of the best programs in the country.
Softball doesn't seem to have as much chaos.
Oh, it had chaos. Well, you remember Texas A&M took number 1 seed, took an L early, right? So, and Nebraska wasn't supposed to be in the conversation. So softball does a thing. We were talking about it yesterday that I'm amazed at how softball has figured out the perfect distance between bases and the perfect distance between, because every play is bang, bang.
Yeah.
There's no ground ball that you can just go, no, piece of cake. Nope. The gaps are just wide enough, right? That you go, the fence is just close enough. You got to get it over to get it to run. And most players are strong enough to get it out. Not all of them do. But guess what? At pitches being slung at you between 73 and 80 miles per hour in a short distance, my goodness gracious, good luck. Good luck. UCLA and Tennessee will battle in an elimination game. Following that, it'll be Oregon and Oklahoma. And, that's Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That's Oklahoma that took it out.
How many in a row would it be for Oklahoma if they break through? 3?
I would imagine 3 or 4. But Texas is waiting for the winner of Oklahoma and Oregon. And Texas already has beaten Oklahoma. First time that they beat them in that space. Now, I don't know if Oklahoma wins, I'm not sure that Texas would still be favored to win against Oklahoma. Don't know. On the other side, just imagine Texas Tech sitting back with as we had the Jordy Ball conversation about pitchers who pitch well, hit well, you have to include that conversation. And I have to say it, Texas Tech's coach, maybe with the biggest, most gritty, gutty play call in recent history, because in a tie game with runners on first and third, he called for a steal of home. A straight steal. A straight steal. First of all, to call it, listen, you always put people on toes, because with a runner on third, pretty good hitter at home plate, you will say your hitter knows that the likelihood of me getting a breaking ball low is minimum, because you don't want the wild pitch to be how you give up the leading run. You just don't. So most often it's going to be middle of the zone and up, so the catcher can have a play. Now, the idea of runners being at the corners, and there's 2 outs. Pitch number 1, rise ball, fouled back, 0-1. Pitch number 2, rise ball, outer third, but up in the zone, fouled back, 0-2, 2 outs, runners on first and third. And this coach, gumption. Gumption.
That's a word for it.
Gumption. To say, and here's the thing that struck me in it, and you can go back and watch the replay of it, that they put in a pinch runner, right? Which makes all the sense in the world. But okay. The reason why you put in a pinch runner is you can pre-message that runner, right? It's not necessarily the signal of all signals, right? Because I want you code word red or foul line. If I say foul line, it's hot. Play call is hot. If I say get a jump, I could actually be telling you to stay. If I tell you to stay close, I'm actually giving you green light that you're going to go. Right? So there's several things, because the base runner has their back to the coach after the signal is done. They're on the bag. They get a signal. He gives a signal. Now, the runner at first is also stealing, which, okay, if there are coaches, then there are times when I've been in that situation and I called for the runner at first to steal. Why? Because it will force the defense to react and respond. If you want to throw down and get that runner, you can get that defensive team can get out of the inning. Or you can fake it, right? Fake pump it, throw it right back to the pitcher. Or you can pump fake and throw it down to third. But you do that, you would think, 0-1, but 0-2. 0-2 is almost gangster-like, because I would have thought if I'm sending the runner at first, I would have sent the runner at first, but you can't do it in softball. You can't send them early. You can only send them on time. In baseball, you could send that runner early, even as the pitcher comes before he comes set, because you want it to get into a rundown so the runner at third can beat the throw. No, this is not what they were doing. They had on a straight steal with runners on first and third, 2 outs and 2 strikes. And the runner took off right away. The catcher, again, gets into a rhythm and a routine. Catch the ball like the previous ones, foul ball, get it back to the pitcher. Why? Because you don't want shenanigans to go on. So get it back, get it out of your hand, get it back to the pitcher. But you're supposed to check. You have to check. But here's the thing. In every bit of it, everything is either coached or accepted, that this was coached, because the hitter, the batter, blocked the view of the catcher. So the catcher lost sight of the runner at third. The catcher had no idea what was going on, right? The hitter is literally just standing in front of takes the pitch, stays literally in space, just
stretches the back shoulder a little bit, get a little bit wide.
Sits it there, right? And the runner never broke stride. So much so that when the catcher straddled the plate to take the throw, the base runner literally slid between the catcher's legs. And the coach came down the line and high-fived the batter. high five the batter, which told me
this was planned.
You not only planned it, but you practiced this
and perfectly executed it in real time.
Oh my, epic.
That's where like softball and baseball, where you just get, that's that unique layer where you just don't get that in any other sport. Those kind of mind games are just impossible to replicate anywhere else.
Gangster. This dude, like, put a crown on this guy. Put a crown on his head. Because he's giving signals just as you would. And again, it could be, sometimes you give signals to decoy, sometimes you're giving signals just to give signals. But to call this in this environment, in your biggest game of the year, in the biggest at-bat of your year,
on an 0-2 count,
on an 0-2 count, right? That how do you even project that you're not going to get? Because you would look at, is it a fastball away? Okay, hey, she's caught 2 straight pitches and then threw the ball back immediately to the pitcher. Because that's the thing. That's a tip. That's a key, right? Okay. If this catcher and pitcher always immediately throw it back, I can delay steal. I can always delay steal because this pitcher, the ball, that means there's going to be 2 throws. It has to be a perfect throw, and it has to be to the front corner of the plate. Nope. Never happened. Didn't matter. They got it done. Pretty brilliant.
Incredible. And with that being said, we got to throw it to break. You guys can catch MLB on the other side, but use the apps or the streams or the Ticket app, and you can continue listening to The Breeze. DP, Harrison Arns, we'll talk to you on the other side.
Your Nebraska Lottery announces the 2025 NASCAR Powerball Playoff. And it's a great way to get on track for a chance to win $1,000. From May 27th to June 23rd, buy $2 of Powerball, enter the voucher number online, and you could be one of 20 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Roar into any Nebraska Lottery retailer and buy $2 of Powerball today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Now's the best time to lock in early order savings on a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plant for success with the latest technology, including Exact Emerge high-speed planters that help you cover more acres with greater precision and productivity. Order your planter for next year now to unlock the biggest savings of the season. Contact your local Landmark location today and experience the Landmark difference.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread's Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Breeze segment number 2. We do got Royals on the brick and mortar, but if you're listening to my voice, that means you found the Ticket app or any of the streams. 402-464-5685. You guys can always chime in and guide the conversation. But DP, we also got some NBA Finals heading our way now as the Indiana Pacers, who Mr. Overrated 2 times in a row, voted on by his peers, I shouldn't say, not the NBA world. Are you shocked at all just to see that it is the Thunder and Pacers right off the bat?
I'm not shocked about the Thunder because the Thunder's been the best team in basketball all season.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a new thing. And they are the better team of these two teams. It was discussed last night that against the Eastern Conference, the entire Eastern Conference.
Are you doing my favorite stat, the West versus East regular season?
Oh no, this is an Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, specific stat.
versus the NBA East. The entire NBA East. Harrison, would you dare to guess what the record is?
Okay, let's see. 82 games. You cut that at 41. I'm going to guess they're probably 39-2.
They are 28-1.
28-1. Oh, yeah, you got to cut in half down.
They are 28-1 against the entire NBA East. And the one loss was to Cleveland. They are 2-0 against the Pacers.
Yep.
They blew out the Pacers in Oklahoma City. And guess what? They have the home court advantage. For all of the Lakers in 5 talk, ramp up your Thunder in 5 because everything about it, they had a 6-point win in Indianapolis where Shea had 40 plus.
On 45% shooting.
In Oklahoma City, he had 33.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best player on the planet, whether you like it or not.
The one that's still playing.
No, he's the best player on the planet.
Jokic. I'm still going to go
No.
Yeah.
Where's Jokic?
He's at home.
Sitting at home.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get it done.
No.
Didn't get it done for all the this and that and all that, yada, yada. Who playing?
Shea.
Still there, balling.
Yeah, but I don't.
Who the Kings of the West? Who are the Kings of the West?
Right now.
Say their name. Say
OKC
it.
Thunder.
Say it. That's it. Who's the MVP?
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
There we go.
Who should have won the MVP?
Nope, he shouldn't have.
Yeah, see, this is
He shouldn't have. He should. Shea is the best player on the planet. Stop it.
No, we can argue about this forever. It totally defines what is your MVP, because the NBA hasn't even voted on this consistently. So there's a million worlds where Shea is the MVP. Do you value wins? Then it is Shea.
In this, if you're talking about the most valuable player to the league in that season, the best team by a lot.
But if you're looking at advanced metrics, it's going to tell you
no. That is a lame, non-true. Look, numbers will say, stats will say what you want them to say.
It'll tell you how good is this team when he's on the court, and how good is this team when he's off the court.
Doesn't matter. Critical match. No, it doesn't matter. We know what matters. Who wins in the final series of the season?
And that's where you can say Shea. If it's all about wins, Shea.
Why are you doing it?
Because
why do they keep records? What's the biggest stat in all of sports?
Well, then why hasn't the MVP been on the winning team? Why do we even call it the regular season MVP if it's only about who's the finals winner at the very end?
That's the great predictor for how the season ends.
Yes, but it
has been.
But it hasn't gone to the team with the best record every single year. It goes to.
So let's go through. Give me the 5 players who have won the most MVPs in the NBA. Ready?
Okay.
Go ahead and look it up. Go ahead and Google most MVPs.
I want to see if I can get it. So you got Jordan, and then Bill Russell. What did they have back in the MVP back in the day with Kareem and those guys? What was it?
Yep. I'm just giving it the best player in the NBA.
Magic, Bird, MJ, Kareem.
Yeah. And what do they all share?
A lot of rings.
A lot of championships.
I know, but if Shea will probably get one this year.
Because the best player on the best team the best player of the best team is the most valuable player to the entire NBA because in their greatest, highest moments, most competitive moments, and the greatest matchups, that's where the division is. That's where the line between really good, great, and epic. That's the line. The line is, can you see over a long term what you've done this season is proven that no matter who we put you against, you are going to produce in the most critical moments to produce the most important thing in the NBA, which is wins. Wins. Wins over reputation, wins over resume, wins over stats, wins of all wins. Like we get caught up, people that don't play, don't coach, don't manage, talk about all the other stuff because that makes them feel like knowledgeable and important. But there are mechanics within the whole thing that in the end, are you able to take those things and beat the best teams and players you're going to face that season? That's what the metric is. I don't care about, there's an analytic that says, no, don't care.
It's not even that deep of an analytic. This team stinks when he's not on the court.
I've never used an analytic in a fight.
All right.
I've never used an analytic in a game that I was playing. You know what I use?
You can use the wins and losses as technically an analytic because that's numbers.
No, but that's the result.
Yeah.
That is what you effectively produced. It is not the idea. It is not, hey, against left-handers, I did this. Well, guess what? In the most critical at bat of your season, it's going to be a right-hander that throws 97 miles per hour. What you going to do? What you going to do? Like, tell me what you're going to do. You know what? I shoot 40% from three. What do you do against Jordan shooting three-point shots in the most critical of games? That number doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Jordan was not the world's best three-point shooter, but in the most critical of moments, ask Portland, ask Cleveland about Jordan's three-point shooting. Ask Utah. Ask them. Critical mass, critical moments, the most apex of moments, what kind of efficiency do you work from in those moments? You talk about Mr. October, an entire name built on in the league's and the game's most critical moments. There was no better hitter in baseball in October than Reggie Jackson. That's why, against the best pitchers that were available, against the Dodgers for crying out loud. On the road, guess what? Don't matter what you did. Hey, man, I don't care what you did in September. Don't care what you did in June, right? All the stat stuffing, all the things you did against the Cotton Candy Boys and the popcorn dudes and all that stuff. What do you do against Reggie Jackson in October? That's how you're measured.
But this goes back, and we could argue about this forever. This isn't even right, but this is to me the whole MVP voting. Because if you're going by what you're saying, which is totally fine, you can go to Kobe Bryant and the analytics will kill him and tell you he was never the MVP. He wasn't even close, but you'll go watch some of those finals and be like, he was clearly that guy. But if you use the numbers, it's same thing with LeBron. He's had some years where he hasn't gotten the award, Steve Nash, because the numbers, but you could probably think LeBron James should have gotten that. Kobe Bryant. This is my whole problem with the MVP voting is that it seems like the numbers are what decides the vote. And then you have a year like this year where DP is making the vote. And he's like, no, we're going back to the basics. It's about who wins.
The analytics didn't exist 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
No, this is more and more recency. It feels like when the analytics have gotten into the mix, now it's very, very number focused.
Look, it's sports. People who don't play, right, come up and go, you know what? I've got to give myself some self-importance. I've got to make myself a part of the game, right? I've got to, if I look deep enough, I'll find I can put together some formula that says that this thing, and nobody knows what the formula is.
This is where the disconnect is, DP, because I grew up on the formula being analytics.
I don't care about the formula.
That's why I think it's
I'm an athlete and a coach. I don't care.
I'm showing you just every 25-year-old.
And I don't care.
The NBA
I don't care what the average 25-year-old thinks.
I don't believe
they don't know.
No, but
they don't know.
The NBA they grew up watching, that has how the NBA's told them this is the best player because this is how we voted since you've been alive.
Nope, that's what people with cell phones will text out that this is the best player, and it doesn't matter, and it's wrong. It's wrong.
You might be 100%.
It's wrong.
That's how they've been.
How can somebody that never saw Wilt Chamberlain play tell me who the best player is.
DP, they're starting to say the 100-point game didn't
Yeah.
happen.
No. Who was they?
Exactly. I don't know.
I don't give credit to people that I don't know who haven't done a thing that I know that I can confirm.
Yeah.
I don't care about analytics people. I don't. When I go coach, I don't care about the analytics, and I don't care about some stat nerd in the middle of his mom's basement telling me who the best player is. I go my eyes to sitting in a game calling pitches. When I call pitches, there's no analytics. I'm in the game watching the hitter, his stance, his hands, his eyes, his head, game situation, knowing my pitcher. What is he throwing? What did he show me in the bullpen that day? What has he shown me 14 other starts? What do the players that rely? What does the catcher tell me? The catcher looks over. Is he telling me, Coach, he's got his good stuff. Hey, the good fastball. Hey, Coach, the breaking ball is running a little bit. There is no analytic. What are you talking? Like, it's become too silly and too ridiculous. It doesn't. Here's the thing. There is a player in the NBA who has dominated every big game that team has played in against every big opponent that there is. So much so that his team now has the opportunity. And his team, being led by him, is one of two teams left that have a chance to have a successful season. Because ask Jalen Brunson if he's had a successful year. Nope. Didn't get what he wanted to get from it. Didn't get. Ask Joker. Hey, bro, who had a better year than I did? That dude right over there. That dude right over there has had a better year than I have. And at the end of it, some stat geek can go up and go, you know what? Statistically, he wasn't the best player. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Stop it.
That's my whole beef with it. Is
Stop
that
it.
They've done that, and then they've given the award out with that, though.
Well, but I mean,
and then it just changes the whole framework. And then, it's great that we disagree sometimes. 'Cause even here, I don't even think we're disagreeing. This is the point that's always drove me insane about the MVP is there is no, what are we voting for?
Well, it was the Jordy Ball conversation on Tuesday before the other awards are given out. How do you give a single-faceted player the same, more credit than the player who contributes at the same level offensively and is elite in the pitching circle? It doesn't make sense. And there are people who just don't know any better, who just, you know what, don't like the humanity. I don't like Nebraska, so I'm not going to vote for Jordy Ball. Or you know what, we're SEC and we have more voters in the South than they do in the Midwest. And guess what? We're going to vote for the South because that's who we are, and that's the prejudice, that's the thought behind it. And it's stupid. There's nobody with a sense of logic, an ounce of logic, that can say one of the three best pitchers and one of the three best offensive players wrapped in one is less valuable than the person who, first of all, you didn't even have the best offensive year of everybody. But because the popular vote and the folks down from the Southeast Conference all voted for each other, and they have more pull than the folks in Nebraska and the Midwest, that's what happened. And it doesn't make it right. And be smart enough to say that doesn't make sense because Jordy Ball was the best softball player in America.
All right, DP. A good bit of rate. We're over the break, by the way, and we're streaming only, so we're just going to keep it rolling here. We could go on that about forever. But, I will say this, shout out to Dave Turcotte, as SGA is this year's MVP. And you got, I think, between him, Jamal Murray, the last 5 MVPs were foreign, between Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, now SGA, the Canadian. DP, where is the USA in basketball?
Well, here's the thing. That is way too deep for
5 minutes.
For
probably.
5 minutes. But it's the factory. The problem. There's several problems, but you haven't identified what the problems are. You haven't identified the game transitions and style of play has transitioned to what are you familiar with and what are you not familiar with. The easiest thing to defend is a player that has trained how I train, and I know how to defend him. I know where he's going to be. I know what his next line of choice is going to be, what he's going to do with the ball from this point in the floor to otherwise. Except here comes a European player, an international player, who works from a different set of rules and a different set of judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It took us 4 years to figure out the Euro step. It took us It took us, but here's the other thing. Steph got his step back three from the international game. And it took us another 4 years to adjust to that. There's nothing wrong with the American player other than the fact that the game evolves.
Just feels like the development is where, because even the G League, I used to be a lot higher on. Now I'm not so sure, because when you do watch it, it's really, there's a couple guys really trying to get, there's not a whole lot of that team cohesion work, and maybe it works out, but you look at guys like Morris who went through there, and Zaire Wade, even like a guy like Bronny, where you can see where at times it helps, but like as a team, and if you're just like on the outside, a fringe guy trying to get in, I don't know if that G League really works out too well for a lot of guys.
It works perfect. It's exactly what it's there for. It's the accumulation of assets and development. It's the expansion of the game. It gives you a place where a player under your watch can get work in. For Bryce McGowan's, it makes perfect sense for him to go a place where he runs the system. He hears
for
a
a
lot
guy
of,
like Bryce,
he leaves the verbiage and otherwise. For a guy like Eric Strickland, like minor league basketball, development basketball has always existed. Strick had to go to a place where he had to learn that I need to focus on doing the things that I do well in these environments. And if I stick to that, one, he always had to work ethic, and he had to show that he had to work ethic.
See, I like it in the Strick era. To me, it's more like guys forfeiting college to go to the G League is where I'm a little more iffy. Like the Strick in that, I'm all for that. And I'm not saying it's not going to work for everybody, but I'm not so sure. Like when you compare that to Europe, it doesn't seem like a great development formula.
No, but well, then I would say you've never gone over to Europe and watched and lived that life and understand how difficult that is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they get a 17-year-old Luka playing against 30-year-olds.
How much different is it? But where are you living and under what circumstances? Do you get your money? Do you actually get paid? No. No, you don't.
Playing overseas?
Are you safe? Yeah. Are you safe? Are you safe?
It depends which country you're playing for.
Again, it's easy to work from the belief that the G League has to be everything for everybody versus European leagues or international leagues. No, if you've never looked at a FIBA contract, you don't understand what you're asking people to do. If you've never lived in a housing project or an apartment or a condo overseas, depending on the owner, because even within the same league, the owners aren't the same, and they're different dudes, because guess what? Some are financially responsible, and some, guess what? There's some real gangster stuff going on. And you better play along, and they have your passport.
Yeah, there's that part.
No, again, a lot of the base level conversations are, hey, from my vantage, this is how this looks. But those are people that, again, removed from it, you can have an opinion of it that has nothing to do with the reality behind it. The reality is that there's a development group, there's an ownership group, and a management group that exists in America that allows young people to, if this is your dream, go in and work as hard as you can possibly work. Separate yourself, show your worth, show your value, and then you'll have the opportunity. And guess what? It still may not work out for you. But if you choose the other thing, which is, you know what? Go to a place that most people, 98% of the people in the population who follow the NBA in America couldn't tell you some of the cities where they're located for the teams that these guys are going over and playing for. You don't know how they live, how much money they got. They've got a contract. That contract has as much value as that plug over there. It has no value unless it's actually plugged in and actually executed. And if you're over there, you don't have control. In the G League, you know that an NBA franchise is going to support this thing and financially keep you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like if you want to go play pro early, you need to go over to Europe and get your pro. I'm not saying go pull the LaMelo Ball, go over to Lithuania. I can't remember where exactly he went. And like, again, this is best case scenario, but I'm not so sold on it. I just still think the college path, it's not even guaranteed to be better for you. I'm just not entirely sold on the G League.
Better for what?
Better for your development.
What to play basketball for an additional 180 days a year?
To be with a group of guys, and even that's different now with the transfer portal. But it does just, the G League is very focused on a few guys. And again, you can't blame them because if you're Bryce McGowan, that's the goal. But you're not going to be playing in an offense that's cohesive the same way it feels like a college basketball team's going to be.
Because the NBA team picks the G League coach for that very reason. That's what they're there for. They're all connected. That's an assistant coach. He's just traveling with this group of younger players to hold them accountable, give them the verbiage so they know that when they go from the G League to the NBA, they know the verbiage, they know the schemes, they know how to read a playbook, they know how to practice on time, they know how to get to the airport on time, they know how much rest is required, nutritionally, what's good for you and what isn't good for you, socially, what are you going to do? Because if you can't handle Albany, you're not going to handle New York City. If you can't go to Rochester and live and not get in trouble, keep yourself in on time and in place. If you can't handle the heckling that happens in Rochester, you're not going to handle Madison Square Garden. You can't go to Salt Lake City Community College and play and then say it's too much. If I've mishandled that, then I cannot handle playing for the Utah Jazz and facing the Los Angeles Lakers. The G League's purpose is it is a weeding process of development. It lets you identify talent. It allows you to identify flaws, which is maybe more important than your talent and development, is to identify flaws, because there's certain flaws that are correctable. There's certain ones that require maturity. There's certain ones that are fatal. And then you make those decisions based on that. That's what the G League is for. It allows young executives to work. It allows young coaches to work. It allows you the chance to, build your resume, because there are coaches that were pulled from the G League to go to the big squad, because you know what? They showed they could manage the talent, right? If you can get a group of 25-year-olds to go to bed on time, eat properly, practice hard, take care of their bodies, learn the playbook, how to deal with one another, how to make plays for each other, see them in critical situations that are off the map, right? Because those games are still come down to fourth quarter tight possessions. Mm-hmm. How do they handle it? Out of the bright lights. Go off Broadway and do your play, and before you get to the bright lights of 42nd Street. That's why you go off Broadway. It doesn't devalue that. You know what? You're not doing it in front of 5,000 people. No, you better learn how to do it in front of 500 people. And you better learn how to do it off Broadway. Otherwise, when you get to the big one, you burn and more money is cost. There is a much smaller contract in the G League. There's much smaller risk. It's more confined. That's what the G League is for. People miss what it's for. As a fan, you can have an idea that there's frustration. But remember, there's only 32 teams. There's only X number of jobs. And every year, some folks have to go down there and figure out, one, am I Stephon Marbury? Do I go over to China and make it myself? Do I do this? Right? Because I can live an entirely great life, and maybe that life is better for you than being the number 8 player or 9 player in the NBA. That's what the G League is for. It is for all of those things and not any of those things.
All right. Well said. Couldn't be that simple of an hour. I had to play Haas's role today and get on our DP skin a little bit.
Oh, none of it bothers. This is what's funny. It is sports.
Oh, it's my favorite part.
It's sports. 10-0, 6th inning. Oklahoma leads Nebraska. Doesn't look good.
All right. Well, with that, we'll leave you guys on a somewhat of a sour note, but don't worry. We got plenty more on Ticket Sundays to keep you through. We'll have a replay up next of the YWCA hour, and then we'll be back live on track with our normal scheduling. After the Royals wrap up, we'll be back right here live, 93.7 Ticket. Appreciate you listening. But like I said, keep listening. Ticket Sundays, keep rolling.